Before we begin today's episode, we want to take a moment to acknowledge something that deeply affected our partial breakaway family. We were scheduled to record this episode with our guest, Victor Nuno, but on the day of the recording, tragedy struck when one of our partial breakaway family members lost a beloved sister after a long and courageous battle with cancer. Our thoughts and prayers and heartfelt condolences are with co-host Nick and his entire family during this incredibly difficult time. We dedicate this episode to her memory and honor the strength, courage, and love she showed throughout her journey. Thank you for joining us today, and please keep their family in your thoughts.
With DK Sports.
The Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 172 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Before we start, we just want to say, Nick, we're thinking about you. We miss you, and we can't wait to see you back in your on your throne here. Guys, we like Vince said in the intro, Victor Nuno was supposed to be on this episode. We did reschedule, however. There's a good chance it's going to be anytime between the draft and free agency if all goes well. Mm-hmm. That's the goal. If not, it'll be after free agency. So thank you, Victor, if you're listening, for being flexible with us and understanding. We're still going to do our live draft this Friday.
Yeah.
Our live draft episode, we're going to be basically pick by pick, giving our insights and letting you know what's valuable and what's not in terms of fantasy. And anything that goes on, which by the looks of it might be a lot.
By what happened in the past week and a half, it looks like it will be a lot. So we'll see what goes on.
And for any news between now and then and clips during that time, you can follow us on our socials at X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at Partial Break Pod. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us reviews on the podcast platforms such as Spotify or Apple Radio. What's it called?
Mm-hmm. Apple, iHeartRadio,
iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast. That goes a long way to helping us do this for you. So, without further ado, let's start the Odd Man Rush.
All right, Junior. So the Odd Man Rush is myself and you for today. So we take news, notes, and trends of the NHL and turn them into 30-second takes, which usually lasts about 3 minutes. This segment is sponsored from Sportira. Visit the website www.sportira.com for all your apparel and team uniform needs. Follow them on Instagram as well at sportira.apparel. So, we'll start with the first big news that we got beginning of this week or last week. Darren Raddysh, who is 30 years old, his rights got traded to Toronto for a 5th-round pick and signed. Basically, it was a sign and trade. So he signed an 8-year deal at $8.5 million. Junior, what are your thoughts with this transaction for Toronto?
They're not blowing it up, that's for sure. If you're going to go get a Raddysh and sign him to 8 years, $8.5 million, it's because you're going to keep all your big guns. Nyes might still be something they do. The rumors are they're thinking about it and they're not, so who really knows? I think if they get a crazy overpaid, they might do it if they need the cap space to maybe get like a Hellebuck or whatever or something else they need. But it's a lot of term for a 30, what is he, 30? He's 30 years old. Yeah. It's a lot of term for a 30-year-old, especially a 30-year-old that had one season over 37 points. But you know what? Considering, I think I think he can still be very productive. I think he can replicate the numbers he did in Tampa on this Toronto Maple Leafs team if it stays as is with Matthews, Nylander, Tavares. I'm not worried about his production in the next 2 years, but after that,
So I don't hate it in the sense of the 8 years doesn't bother me because as we see in the NHL, every year there's teams that are trying to get to the cap, to the bottom of the cap. So in his last 2 years, when he's 38, 39, they can easily sell that contract to a team that needs to get to the cap. So I'm not too worried about the length of years of this contract. The AVV, I think, is reasonable at $8.5 million. I think if he would have gone to free agency, he would have been getting 9.5, maybe 10, depending on how desperate other teams were. I mean, Toronto notified that they needed a power play quarterback, which Raddysh is.
yeah.
He can. We've seen it in Tampa, and people are like, "Yeah, he was playing with Kucherov and Point." Okay, so he's playing with Nylander, Matthews, Tavares. I mean, there's some huge guns on that Toronto power play. So the only thing is, they weren't a Raddysh away from being Stanley Cup contenders. So I feel this is just a move, just to make the playoffs. Like, it's not like a move to really put them into the teams of contention. And that's what's a little worrisome because Matthew said Matthew wants to win. So there has to be more moves come after this. But what are they willing to sacrifice to bring in everyone, all the other pieces they need?
Well, I mean, it's been a while since we did an episode. And we thought we spoke about this trade, but we didn't. But Joseph Woll and Benoit got traded from Toronto to Philadelphia in return of Samuel Ersson, who's a pending RFA, which they likely won't even re-sign, and defenseman Emil Andre and a third-round pick in the 2026 NHL draft. So that kind of alleviated a little bit.
Yeah, but Andre,
in terms of cap space.
Andre is what? At best, a 5th, 6th defenseman?
Yeah, he's a puck-moving defenseman, but for fantasy purposes, I don't think he'll be super relevant, but it'll help with their play out of their own end because they were too old and slow.
But that's my worry right now. They're still old and slow in defense. You got Brendan Carlo, you got Tanev, who's at 36, you got Morgan Riley. I mean, the only positive in this isn't, for me, for Toronto is, do you move Morgan Riley now?
I think it's inevitable.
But his contract is not bad. And if he plays as a number 3-4 defenseman, he's going to help your team more than hurt your team, won't he? I mean, I think people over-expected of him because he was number 1.
Yeah, because he was given a spot he wasn't ready for.
Now that Raddysh is taking that offensive talent to Toronto and that position, I think Morgan Riley as a number 3 and 4 defenseman would be phenomenal for them.
Yeah, I think as a diminished role in the second pair, it suits him much better, especially now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they need to clear some cap, he might be a casualty unless Nyes becomes that casualty and they get something in return that could help them.
But that's my other thing with Nyes is you just made a move to make a push to the playoffs, but then you're going to trade Nyes for what? I'm sorry to say, Nyes is a nice player, and what Montreal offered, no one will offer again. I don't think.
I don't know. I think they will. Because look what
to me, Nyes is what the maximum 70 to 80 point player.
But now what we're noticing, especially you start hearing rumors of Bowen Byron possibly asking for $10 million and Tuck asking for over $10 million. So I think with Nyes, what you're paying for is his contract, not his points, not his goals. And that's what the contract certainty is. What's going to cost teams and what teams are going to be willing to pay a lot of money for. Because as the cap goes up, already we're starting there's talk that Robertson might get $14 million or Heischer might sign for $12+ million. So in order, maybe if teams overpay and pay for contract like a Nyes for the next 8 years at $7 million, even though he's your second line winger and maybe not necessarily your first line winger, you can overpay someone after in free agency because you saved on that.
Yeah,
end.
but you're overpaying with draft picks. You're not giving them your best 22 or 23-year-old player. If you're going for nice, you're not going to give them your best 21, 22-year-old player. So you're giving them draft capital, which they don't have. So to me, I think it's a sideways move because then they're going to have to take that draft capital and try to turn it into another Matthew Nice. Right?
For Toronto, you're saying?
Yeah, for Toronto.
No, they'll probably flip those.
And
They
try to
probably
turn
flip
it.
those and
Well, we'll talk about. It's not as easy as it sounds just to take draft picks and flip. Right?
it'll be interesting to see. But the dynamic of the NHL is changing big time, and
100%,
this American team that won gold looks like they were in cahoots and kind of
I don't know about cahoots.
not cahoots, but like they clearly spoke about like wanting to just win and control your own destiny and not wait after these owners and GMs that promise you the world and maybe don't fulfill it in the end.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a problem. I think the NHL just needs to just observe what's happening right now and not
And see how it plays out,
how
yeah.
it plays out. But I think it's more GM. Like players now, I think more players are using the power that they have in that no movement clause and
That they signed for, that
they
the teams
signed,
gave
that
them.
the teams gave them. And I think starting this year, there'll be less and less full no movement clauses because the $2 million you save because you put a no movement clause is not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Because after that, the player has all the power.
Darren Raddysh has a full no move clause for the entire contract, a full no trade clause for the first 6 seasons, and a modified no trade clause with 16 team list for the final 2 seasons.
Yeah, you see, but that's fine. 16 teams is
For only the final 2 seasons.
yeah, but that's why I just,
37, 38 years old. I mean, by then, you might have to get rid of him before that. And just one more thing before we move on. What's next here? What's next?
Samoskevic.
Okay. Well, I'll save it for later.
Okay, so the next movement we're going to talk about because basically this move correlates with the other thing we're going to talk about.
combo.
Yeah, exactly. Samoskevich traded to Seattle for pick number 25 and a conditional second in 2027. Samoskevich, 23 years old, had 37 points last year. The year before that, had a breakthrough season.
32 points last year.
32, and the year before,
31.
31. So, 25th pick overall, it's a bit of a hefty price to pay. But he's 23 and was playing on a team that was loaded on the wing, even though they were injured. So
Yeah, well, he definitely wasn't getting an opportunity, especially with what they did after.
yeah. So what do you think about this move for Seattle, Junior?
I don't know. There's all this talk that Seattle wanted to go big and was going after Panarin and was going after this, and then you're gonna settle for Samoskevic. It's like it's what you already have. I think. Look, he's younger. He's still only 23 years old. He's going to be 24 in November. Fine. I mean, can we see a 30-goal scorer in Samoskevic? Look, he hasn't been given a full-out opportunity. He's never played average more than 14 minutes and a half per season. So, like a game per season with Florida. I think he's definitely going to get an opportunity. But is this the guy that you were dying to put with Beniers on the top line? Is there another move? Maybe, but now you re-sign McMann, which we'll get to later. But I don't know how to think about this one, but I'm kind of curious to see what Samoskevich does on Seattle.
Yeah, I'm curious. And it also tells us what teams think of this draft class this year. So my thinking when I saw this is I looked at our draft and who we had at 25th. And I think it was, I had it. But basically what Seattle said is Samoskevic would be better than anybody they pick at 25.
I mean, you've got a certainty in terms of an NHL player,
Exactly.
which makes sense. At 25, it's always the percentages drop big time. I think they screwed over a lot of teams, though. I think now that you gave a first for Samoskevic, who's never had more than 32 points in a season, what does that mean for, I don't know, let's say, I'll talk about the Canadians, but let's say Kapanen, who scored 20 goals in his rookie year, already outproduced a guy like Samoskevic. You're telling me Kapanen's worth...
And he's a center.
And he's a center, so what's he worth? a top 15 pick. I don't think people are, so it's gonna be interesting to see what the dynamic ends up being of these trades, because it seems like on paper it was a bit of an overpay.
Yeah, but does Samoskevic right now become more fantasy relevant because he's with Seattle and the opportunity he might get there? Or
Yeah, I think so. And is he, in terms of, just I want to refer to cap leagues, but is he signed? That'll be another interesting question. So let's see here. He's currently not signed, so they have to sign him to a contract. So that'll be interesting to see.
It'll be a $7 to $8 million contract, probably.
$7 to $8 million. That's crazy.
At 23, this is what they're signing for now, Junior. I believe it's going to be
Holy moly!
I think that's going to be a ridiculous dumb contract if they go to $7 to $8 million.
He hasn't even scored 20 goals in the league.
I know. It's going to be.
I can see him signing for, if they go 8 years, something to like McMann.
Yeah, 5 years. But McMann is a 30-goal scorer, no?
McMann scored 30 goals, yeah.
But
he's 30. So, I guess we can talk about McMann now that we mentioned it.
We had the trade going, but we're talking about McMann. So, McMann, 30 years old, signs a 6-year extension with the Kraken at $5.75 million. I mean, the biggest thing with McMann is that he's a goal scorer. He might not give you those 80 points, but he could score goals. Just taking up his profile now to see.
I kind of like it because he was good with Toronto, and then you say, okay, but look at who he was playing with in Toronto, and can he do that somewhere else? And then he went to Seattle, and he was pretty good with Seattle. He was actually on fire to start. He kind of cooled off a little bit, but so he didn't score 30 goals, but he scored 29 in 78 games, so he did pace for 30.
Wait, I'm on the wrong McMann.
You on McCann or McMann? But McMann scored 29 goals, 17 assists, 46 points in 78 games between Seattle and Toronto last year.
Bobby McMann, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. If you add the goals together. Okay. Yeah. So 29 goals. I mean, but before that, 20 goals. He basically is a 20-goal scorer.
He's a Seattle Kraken.
Yeah.
In the flesh.
Exactly.
In the flesh.
It's just, I don't hate the AVV. At 5.75, I mean, especially with the cap going up. Is he going to be fantasy relevant? I'm not sure.
In deep leagues, I would take my chances.
As a reserve player?
As a reserve player, someone that's a bit better than a waiver wire pickup. Because his peripherals are pretty good too. 165 hits last year, 27 blocks. I mean, whatever, but yeah. In category leagues and stuff, he's definitely more than just a waiver wire. Yeah.
All right. So the next transaction,
the big news
with the pick news. Yeah, the big news. So the Bash brothers are basically back together. Brady Tkachuk gets traded to Florida for pick number 9 overall, number 25, and a second-round pick in 2029. Wasn't there 3 first-round picks that they got?
Yeah, the 9th pick, the 25th pick, and a first in 20.
Is it first in?
Yeah, I'll double check that for you. Sorry, maybe the first round pick was 2029, not the second. Junior. So yeah, they got basically 3 first round picks and a second round pick. So. Obviously, it came out that he did ask for a trade.
Mm-hmm. No.
Staios did say in his press conference.
So what did it come out to? It came 9th overall pick, 25th overall pick?
Yeah. I'm just getting it here.
I think it was a first in 2028.
So it's the 9th, the 25th in 2026, right?
Mm-hmm.
First round pick conditional in 2029.
Okay.
And a second round pick next year in 2027.
Okay. So
and the 25th pick was the pick they got for Samoskevic from Seattle.
So the story around Brady Tkachuk is that he did ask for a trade. He did give apparently 4 teams, and once again, Carolina, Florida, Vegas, Minnesota. Those were apparently his 4 teams that he gave. But Staios mentioned in his press conference that at the end of the day, there was only one team he wanted to go to.
Ultimately, yeah.
Which was Florida. And he was happy with the return he got. Now,
Start with the Tkachuk side,
so
going to Florida.
okay, so Brady Tkachuk going to Florida. Brady Tkachuk could be a point per game player if he stays healthy. I mean, in 2022, 2023, he got 83 points in 82 games, 35 goals. In 2023, 2024, he got 74 points, but 37 goals, almost hit the 40 mark. 24, 25, injured, 72 games played, 55 points. That was definitely an off year for him.
Yeah, still was on pace to score more than 30.
Yeah, and last year he was on pace for point per game, 59 games played, 60 points. Now, not my issue, but the thing with Florida is, where does he fall now in the rankings in Florida? So, with Ottawa, he's getting first PP, first everything. So him and his brother basically play a bit of the same game. So
I think Matthew's more skilled.
More skilled, yeah. So I mean, you can say the first power play will be Brady, Tkachuk, Barkov, Reinhardt, Tkachuk, Ekblad. I mean, he might be
We'll see.
He'll be the second option, the third option on that power play.
And he's gonna knock off Bennett off that power play.
If he does, but even if he does, he's going to be the third option. I mean, you have Reinhardt, who's going to be always your bumper position, your first
Tkachuk's
option.
gonna have to be in front of the net.
Yeah. So
Brady.
yeah. So I feel he loses a bit of that opportunity that he had with Ottawa, where him and Stützle were the main targets with Jake Sanderson in the back. So
I just feel like with Florida, I like the player. I don't like the person that much, even though I don't know if that makes any sense considering I don't know him, but like I don't like his persona, if you will. Mm-hmm. But I think with Ottawa, I felt like he thought he had to do too much, and it looked like he was doing too much, trying to do everything for the team and overcompensating so much that it kind of didn't look good. I think with Florida, if he goes there with the idea that him and his brother have to be the bash bros and they're just there to cause havoc and fight all the time, this is gonna be they're gonna look back at the street and be like, this was pathetic.
yeah.
But if he goes there to play hockey and does that extracurricular stuff only when needed, the fact that he doesn't have to be the guy, he's not the captain. There's guys like his brother. There's guys like Barkov. There's guys like Reinhardt that could come way before him. Mm-hmm. And I think that could do him well if he accepts that role. And I mean, if he accepted to go there, I would hope that he did accept that role. But Florida, man, they could be a powerhouse. They're going to be hard to play against.
Yeah, but they have no goalie.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, what do you do now? You're not signing Bob because Bob wants.
they don't even have much cap space left.
No, I think they have 17 million and they only have 29 players. There was someone who sent us the stats.
It was in the Llama chat.
In one of our chats.
So right now they have $7.3 million in cap space. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. But they still have to sign 2, 4, 6.
No.
They have like 19-man roster, if I'm reading this correctly.
It's just, yeah, I'm not sure where Florida is heading with this.
Oh, yeah. So 19-man roster. So
Yeah.
they need to sign 4 players, including 2 goalies, with
Just
7...
just to have a starting lineup.
just to have a full 23-man roster, and they only have $7.3 million to do that. Now, there was talk that perhaps Rodriguez was going to be on the block as 1 year left at $3 million.
Yeah, but even though, who you have to, how many players you have to sign?
4.
So you have 4 players, and you can't give these 4 players more than $2 million each.
Yeah, I mean, they could have some young guys. Maybe they call up and they play at a minimum contract. I don't know if they want to bring up a Jack Devine or Devine. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Yeah, they don't have much. They don't have much.
So, I mean, listen, we'll see with the move. I'm like you. I'm not a fan of the persona that I feel they're trying to be in the Kelsey's brother, but in a different persona. I'm not a fan. I was the first one to say Montreal should have drafted Brady instead of Kotkaniemi in that draft.
Yeah, I mean, to this day, I would still take Brady if he just stays in his lane, you know?
But, I mean, we've played on a lot of soccer teams together, and we used to lose our minds when something happened to one of us or two. So that's my worry, is that they have a great coach in Maurice. So can Maurice really make these guys play together? So it'll be interesting. For the Ottawa side, listen, I think they got rid of something that was toxic in the locker room.
Well, Renaud Lavoie from TVA Sport did say reports are that there was a divide in the locker room and that some players kind of were hoping he'd leave. That it got to be a distraction to the point that like some guys just didn't want to see him anymore. And like if he didn't want to be here, then go.
Yeah, and the biggest thing was that also someone was saying when people players get traded, usually you have teammates that say, hey, you know, good luck, you know. But right now, there's on social media, there wasn't much from his teammates, none, you know.
It's because after they got eliminated from the playoffs, he says this is a 23-man family. This is family for me, and all this BS.
Yeah, he's full of crap. Like let's put it that way. He's full of crap. You can't say that and then go in and ask.
We've been saying it. We've been saying it. It was inevitable. This guy wasn't signing a new contract with Ottawa. We knew this was going to happen. We just didn't think it was going to happen this fast.
Yeah,
and good for Ottawa and Florida for that matter for keeping it under the rug. Like nobody rumored it. It came out.
Well, they had no choice. Like Ottawa had to because they had no choice. There was only one team. Like
I think they said there was two teams.
No, Stale said there was 4 teams he gave.
But there was 2 teams that he liked an offer, but he ultimately kind of said he was
pushed towards one team, which is Florida. But for Ottawa, you're getting the 9th pick overall, which you can either get a really good defenseman or a big winger, depending on how it goes. At number 25, I mean, you're throwing darts, and then you're getting the first in 2028, right?
Conditional 2028, 9.
Yeah. 9. So depending on what happens there. And in 2029, there's a good chance Florida will not be very good because most of the players will be 40 years old.
Oh, it's top 10 protected though, eh?
Oh, okay. So there you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is it for the Tkachuk. It'll be interesting to see. I think American fans are going to have more fun with this than Canadian ones.
That's what I wanted to say earlier that I saved for now is, you know, people are saying, Canadian teams should think twice before drafting an American or this and that. And it's not true. I mean, if you build a good culture, you have a good culture, you have a good organization, you're there for your players, you might have to tweak the way you do things as a Canadian team, especially if a Canadian team that doesn't want to spend to the cap. But if you have a good culture, and I'll use the Canadians as an example because it wasn't always the case. Yeah. Like now under this new management, there seems to be a much better culture. People want to be here. People want to play here. I mean, Pierre LeBrun has reported that an agent told him that he was surprised that a player added Montreal on the list of teams that they would go play for. But not to make this about Montreal, but I'm saying if you build a good culture, whether you're American, Russian, Canadian, like you're gonna want to be there. Yeah. And this is a new owner. It's a GM that inherited Tkachuk. They're a team that they're not a destination, so maybe they'll work around that by making sure their players are well taken care of and finding different ways to make sure that they're well insulated.
Hopefully they get that new arena that they're looking for also in Ottawa. So,
but that the fact that it's the media that pushed them out, it's not. Look, at the end of the day, it was written in the stars that this guy was going to end up in Florida. And this was way more likely, by the way, than the Hughes brothers reuniting.
Yes, of course. But after that comment that went viral on the Olympics, and then Trump putting the video of AI-ing his voice saying something. I mean, this kind of, and him not really addressing that situation.
Yeah.
I think that kind of put a sour taste in people's mouths. So I think Ottawa did the best they could in the situation they were in. And there's rumors that Ottawa wants to flip these 2 picks right now.
Well, that's it. Like they're fully stacked with picks. They got 3 first-rounders this year. They have a first-rounder next year and the one after that too. I mean, they're perfectly set up for offer sheets.
Yeah,
they're perfectly set up for offer sheets. God willing that any of these players want to play there. Yeah. You know, they're set up for trade as well.
The rumor was the first one they wanted to go after was Jason Robertson, but his
It
agent,
seems like that was shut down.
yeah,
eh?
his agent or someone came out saying he ain't signing a long-term contract.
Well, Steos did say that the phone is ringing for both those picks, and it was funny because during the press conference, shortly after, his phone rang.
Yeah.
So they kind of joked about that there. But look, there's going to be fireworks. It's not over. This is just the beginning.
No, I think this draft will be a lot. There's going to be a lot of movement in this draft, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Next, Connor Murphy, 33 years old, signs a 5-year extension with Edmonton at 4.1 million AAV. I mean, I don't know what to say with Edmonton anymore. It's just like I don't know what to say anymore.
I mean, good for them. I think they could use him. It's good, especially that Darnell Nurse asked to be traded.
Yeah.
So 4.1 AAV at 33 years old. I mean, it's not bad. They're solidifying the back end, but I don't know. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know.
From a fantasy standpoint, it's a little. He's not relevant point wise. That's for sure.
But it's just 33 years old. It's a older back line. I don't know. It's
even bash wise, he had 90 hits in 80 games last year, 138 blocks. So if your league counts blocks, Connor
shots.
Murphy can help you
He can
there.
help you there. And finally, the last trade was Buffalo trades pick number 27 and Michael Kesserling to San Jose for pick number 20. If you guys remember, Kesserling was one of the pieces that came back for the JJ Peterka trade for Utah. So, I mean, last year, at one point he was injured, then he was healthy. But one of their young players, I forgot his name. I have him here. Zach Metza played and showed that he can play in the NHL, so they went with him instead of Kesserling in the playoffs. It didn't sit well with Kesserling, so at the end, he formally didn't ask for a trade, but the conversation was there. So they move up 7 spots, and San Jose moves down 7, but gets a defenseman that they could use on their team.
Yeah,
as a
for
number
sure.
4, as a number 5, and the price you paid is not too much. So what do you think of this trade, Buffalo-wise and then San Jose-wise?
I mean, Buffalo is loaded. Like now, does this mean maybe they can sign Bowen Byram maybe, or maybe they don't trade him and they hold off? They've got Murtka in the wings. I mean, they were going after Parayko too last year, right? So maybe there's someone they're targeting and trying to get. But for Kesserling, I like it for San Jose. San Jose, the one area they needed to work on and revamp almost completely was their back end.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kesserling is a top 4 defenseman in this league. And it's a great fit for San Jose for sure. Now, in terms of what you're getting an all-around defenseman, but he's not going to produce much. But he's a guy you won't notice on the ice, and that's a good thing. So, especially for a team that allowed a lot of goals.
Does this change your mind now that San Jose might go after Stenberg instead of Chase Reed at number 2?
No, because it's not the same. You're not getting a Chase Reed type player here.
No, you're not. But you're still solidifying your defense, where you're still. It could be a good pick for, like, a good partner for Sam Dickinson, or insulating Sam Dickinson well. That maybe it makes you go after Stenberg.
Maybe, but I don't even think I think Reed is better than Dickinson. So I mean, if you get Reed, Dickinson, Kesserling. You still have Orlov there if you want, and Mukmadulin. I'm curious what it means for Cagnoni, though, whatever happens with him, because he's due to get a shot. And then what can he make of it? Because he's done well in the AHL. We'll see if they give him a chance here.
All right. So, Junior, want to do the DraftKings?
Yeah, let's do that right now. We'll just take a little break for our sponsor here. It all comes down to this, a best of 7. No, this can't be it. Is it? Let's see. Sorry, it won't be long. They updated it, but I have the old one. All right, scripts. Here we go. Let's see what this is. It all comes down to this, a best-of-7 battle, and DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings Sportsbook app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code THPN, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
With DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, that text pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
All right, so now we're going to come up with some TMZ news. A bit. So there's some smoke around Hellebuyck asking for a trade and Werenski possibly asking out. Where's the most likely destination for both these players?
Oh,
The Hellebuyck thing is it's smoke that doesn't want to go away. Huh? So usually
yeah, I think
smoke,
that's more
there's
likely
fire.
than Werenski.
So what do we think about Hellebuyck? Where can he end up?
You know, it sounds. Let me just trying to get the list of teams here. But one of the first teams that came to my mind, and I don't know if he would do it as an American, but was Toronto. Like, does a nice for Hellebuyck kind of package deal make sense here, since you're drafting McKenna anyway? So you're getting another winger. That kind of popped into my head as a first thing, but Buffalo kind of maybe makes the most sense if they could find a way to get Hellebuyck in Buffalo.
Yeah, the thing is, Buffalo also. There's rumors that they're almost it's almost a done deal for Benson at about 7 to 7.5 million.
That's going to age very nicely.
So
They better get that done fast, because with these contracts that they're signing, it's going to end up being 8-9.
So yeah, Hellebuyck with Buffalo, I feel could happen. They have some young players that they can part ways with to make space for a goaltender. They also have a young goaltender that they can give back in return. I know you think I'm crazy. San Jose. I mean, you give back Askarov. You have young pieces that you can give to them that are NHL. Like, an Askarov and a William Eklund.
Yeah, I feel like San Jose is not just a Hellebuyck away. He could help a lot, but their back end still needs work.
Yeah, that's it. But the teams that
Florida obviously could take him, but they have nothing left to give. No cap space.
space. But I feel all the teams that are any team he's going to go to because of his contract won't put him in a better situation than he is in Winnipeg. He'll just go to another team that's
okay. How about this? What about the Stanley Cup champions, Carolina Hurricanes? Shares the net with Busi. They get him back Kuchetkov.
Hellebuyck does not share the net.
No, but you know what I mean. That'll be the tandem. It'll be Hellebuyck and Busi. Busi is the number two. Why? You saw Busi when he played a lot of games. He started to struggle. Right?
I understand, but you don't go get a Hellebuyck. You just go get another 1B.
But if they get Hellebuyck, they're beast
Yeah, but
mode.
what are you giving away? You need to give away something.
Kachetkov, probably a Nadeau. It's probably a futures deal.
No, I don't. I think Winnipeg.
Nikishin, maybe.
Winnipeg is looking for NHL players. I don't think they're looking for. They have Shifley, Connor all signed long term. They're not looking to rebuild over here. They're looking to. This is an NHL trade that has to be done where there's NHL players coming back towards them. So Carolina, you're not giving up Seth Jarvis.
No.
You're not giving up any of your top 6 players. So, you're not giving up.
Svechnikov was rumored to be traded so many times.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a guy that Winnipeg could want. But I would see more like a Nikishin, a Nadeau that's should be making the jump, that wants to make the jump and play in the NHL. He would definitely have a spot with the Jets. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's tough for Carolina. Why mess with something that just won you the cup?
Well, there was rumors that they were going after Bobrovsky at the deadline and then didn't go through with it, or I don't know if the asking price was too much, or I don't know. I'm just saying if they get Hellebuck, man, then the NHL is doomed already. They don't get scored on a lot, and then you're adding the best goalie in the league.
It'll be interesting. I mean, it all depends what teams are willing to pay for this, right? There's the LA Kings too that could be in there. They're looking for a goalie. Edmonton has nothing to give this, so we can't.
Yeah, I don't think he would go to Edmonton anyway.
That's it. So, I mean, Philly just got both their goalies in Woll and Vladar. Pittsburgh's not close to competing.
What about Werenski?
I don't know. I think that's more like far away talk. I think he'll give Columbus a chance.
I think the reason it's coming up is because just like Tkachuk, Brady, he only has Werenski only has 2 years left on his deal. So they're saying that
they were close.
Get ahead of it now before
they were close last year. They like this year. Fantilli has to have a breakout year. They need to make some moves to get their forward, their top six a bit better. I mean, they have Voronkov, Fantilli, Marchenko, Garland, Monahan, Ken Johnson. I mean, that top six has to get better.
They need some center help.
Yeah, they need a lot of center help. So, I don't know. Like Minnesota Wild, Hellebuck? But who are you giving?
Well, Wallstedt.
Yeah, you're giving Wallstedt, but cap-wise, you're never going to make it work.
It's interesting because for Werenski, I'm finding it difficult to find trade partners because of who he would want to go to, and it's always the same teams, right? Florida, Vegas, Tampa. But what do they have left to offer a team for Werenski? Like we're talking about the top 3-point getter in the league on defense. So, Buffalo has Dahlin. That can't really work. Carolina could use a guy like him, but
listen, a secret team for Hellebuck, the Utah Mammoths. They've got young pieces that are ready to make the jump.
And what are they going to do with Vejmelka? He's 30 years old. You think Winnipeg's going to want him?
That's it. The Hellebuck stories are going to be interesting. So we'll see. We'll see if we get another surprise like the Brady Tkachuk one.
And just to stay on the rumor topic, but they were saying that I think it was Elliot Friedman that's saying Nichushkin might be available, and Washington probably makes the most sense
for Colorado.
Yeah,
we'll see. Next topic. I mean, the next two are coaching topics. Babcock was cleared by the NHL to resume coaching. I mean, I think the hiring right now in Edmonton is imminent. The only thing with Edmonton right now is that the story is that they spoke to the head of the players in Edmonton and they were all good for it. And now rumors are coming out that some players weren't spoken to about this. So, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I just feel sorry for Edmonton fans because they have the greatest player in the NHL and they're going to lose him. They with the moves they're making right now, they're just going to lose him.
This is like desperation 101. They don't know what else to do.
No.
It's come to a point where players probably don't even want to go to play for Edmonton anymore. And everyone would have wanted to play with McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah.
It's like, how many coaches can you go through before, I don't know, this lacks this like...
And now you're hiring a coach that's not player friendly. So, I mean,
it's okay not to have a player friendly coach, but given his history, why would you want to bring someone in the locker room that's already on edge? Because now they want to win, right? They're fed up of losing. They feel like they're taking steps back instead of steps forward. So they're already on edge, and you're adding a guy that's full of controversy into the locker room. No matter who you talk to.
At the end of the day, the owner added a GM that was full of controversy too. So I don't know. I think Edmonton fans are this season will be a big tell whether McDavid stays or not in Edmonton. That's for sure. Next, another Babcock
Apprentice, if you
apprentice. Yeah, if we say Jim Hiller hired as coach of the Maple Leafs. He was assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs for 4 years. Was in charge of the power play. Power play was really good when he was there. Had a few coaching jobs elsewhere.
I think he was head coach with the LA Kings.
Yeah, once they fired.
He just, oddly enough, I think he couldn't get past the first round with LA.
No,
ultimately, they just couldn't get it done in the
they got
playoffs.
skunked for nothing.
And then they let him go, which back to square one, trying to get bad out of the first round.
And even this is coming out controversy, but it's coming with a bit of noise that people never thought that John Hiller was going to coach again in the NHL, and now he got
another similar to Babcock. I wouldn't put the desperation level as high as Edmonton. But this kind of does feel like, in this case, they spoke to Matthews. They're trying to keep Matthews. They signed Raddysh. I think they're trying to go for it in the 2 years that Matthews is under contract,
or
then
at least
take
try
it
to
from
make
there.
a push to prove to him that they're there. But
yeah, I think it's going to be more a push to try to win while he's still under contract than it is a push to try to extend him.
yeah,
I'm not convinced he's going to sign a contract extension.
yeah. And finally, the inductees for the Hockey Hall of Fame of 2026 came out. Some really interesting names. Well, for us Canadian fans, obviously, there was Carey Price. Then there was Keith Tkachuk, because the Tkachuks haven't made enough news this week. Keith Tkachuk,
What a weekend!
yeah, Keith Tkachuk gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. Carey Price, Pekka Rinne, Patrice Bergeron, who's also getting his number retired from Boston. Brian Burke and Cindy Curley inducted all in the Hall of Fame. I mean, is there any surprises here, Junior? I mean, I think these are all candidates that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm just looking something up because.
I mean, to us, Montreal fans, Carey Price should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, but obviously,
Yeah, I mean, if he would have won a cup, I think it would have been no question. The fact that he didn't win, I think, is why he wasn't a full first ballot Hall of Famer. But where is he here? Keith Tkachuk. Why don't they have all his stats? That's too bad. I was trying to compare because Rod Brandamore was also a candidate here. Didn't get elected into the Hall of Fame. I wanted to compare their stats and their importance, but
what do you want to know? I have his stats here.
I just want to compare Brandamore to Tkachuk. Career stats.
Career stats, Tkachuk has 1,065 points, 527 assists, 538 goals in 1,201 games. And Brandamore, let me get that for you. And no cups for
Tkachuk.
Brandamore, Rod Brandamore, right? Yeah,
Rod, yeah.
Rod Brandamore has 1,184 points, so more points, 732 assists, more assists, 452 goals.
Oh, that's goals.
Less goals, but he also has 1,484 games, so about 280 games more than
Tkachuk. Okay, fairly similar, I guess. Rod was a center, though. Had a bit more of an important role. Could have gone either way. I think Rod should get in the next one, though.
Yeah, Rod has, one cup with Carolina? So he was known. And he's got a few Selkies, if I'm not mistaken, no?
Yeah, he's got a few awards. But, I mean, Hall of Fame, it's always...
there's always a debate.
There's always a debate. It could go here this way, that way. Patrick Elias was snubbed again.
Yeah, it's... A lot of people would say it's the Hall of Watered Down.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to say, is that I feel like at some point, if there's... the candidates are not worthy of the Hall of Fame, then just don't elect anybody. Or you don't have to elect X amount of players every year. Just elect the players that are worthy of being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And it just feels like they're doing it just to do it now. And it's a shame, really.
Yeah.
It's lost its prestige.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that goes for the episode. I mean, we said we were going to be a short episode, but it still lasted 50 minutes with only two of us talking. So it's we're gonna
Nick would be proud.
Yeah, we're gonna hear from him. That's for sure. But obviously, our thoughts and prayers at the end of the day are with Nick and the Tsagaropoulos family for their loss. Keep them in your prayers, and to Nick and his family during this difficult time. Stay strong, stay together. There are brighter days ahead, even though we don't see them right now.